emotions here, a la Al Green. Who feels it, knows it, who loves it, shows it. Who feels it, loves it, who knows it, shows it.
Come on.
Do you wanna get jiggy with a genius? Hardest working man in the business. Shuffling bones from the underground. Nobody knows, must be James Brown. Oh damn, looks like dope sinuous. Big baby Jesus, he's a genius. My man who keep it and go. Working the mic like Django. What you gonna do with a broken heart? Sip crystal, burn up the chart. What you gonna do when they put you down? Move to the tip groove underground. What you gonna do when you miss your mark? Chill out, choose a brand new start. How does it feel to be back on top? It's good, and you don't stop. Who feels it, knows it, who loves it, shows it. Who feels it, loves it, who knows it, shows it. Who feels it, knows it, who loves it, shows it. Who feels it, loves it,
Yes, yes,
who knows it.
Okay, good morning, everybody. How are we all doing today? It is November 1st, post-Halloween, and we are live. We opened up with Who Feelin' It by Tom Tom Club. Why would you... Now, you might be asking yourself, why would I play that after Halloween? Why not play something Halloween-y? Because apparently, according to the top 40 charts, Thriller is the 22nd greatest Halloween song of all time. I don't know what the other 21 are, but I guarantee they're not as good. But yes, we did nothing at all Halloween related. We played the Tom Tom Club, which is, dickless 80s new wave stuff, which I normally wouldn't listen to with a 10-foot clown headphone. Kind of lost the track of the analogy there. But the reason I played it was because they played that song in American Psycho, and the title story has something to do with Gavin Newsom. And the last time we did something related to Gavin Newsom, I played Hip to Be a Square by Huey Lewis on the News. And I'm really loath to repeat songs unless it's been a certain amount of time or if there's nothing else applicable. But yes, we will play songs from the American Psycho soundtrack whenever we deal with Governor Newsom of California, because the man is very Patrick Bateman-esque. The dead-eyed smile, the slick-back hair, the flagrant lies and chicanery. I have said from the beginning, I get massive American Psycho vibes from Mr. Newsom. And apparently I'm not alone in this. Taco Bela Lugosi says, another wonderful Saturday afternoon. I'm still waking up. Well, it's better late than never, sir. Yes, no passing out candy. I mean, I did a couple of pass-outs, nothing major. Not too many people came. Anyway, yeah, let's get to the news. Gavin Newsom, much like Naveen Johnson, Steve Martin, was born a poor black child, according to himself. Because what happened? Well, Gavin Newsom is, of course, to run for president in 2028. He's trying to gin up support, and he's hitting the pavement early. He's going on podcasts and radio shows trying to be down with the people. Gavin Newsom went on, I think it was the Breakfast Club morning show on Hot 97, and I'm not joking, he really goes on this, permanently black radio show, and I'm sorry, I got distracted a bit. Dave Portnoy is trending, and that cretin never needs to be trending again. But anyway, I digress from cretin to another. Gavin Newsom is at the very least more well put together than Dave Portnoy. I think Gavin Newsom thinks that he has a shot at the presidency because he is like I said, he's got that kind of sociopathic charm about him. He's like the silver fox. He's got like the slick back gray hair. And I think some women find him relatively handsome. But anyway, I digress. He went on this show, and I swear to you, he starts talking in a black accent, if you will. And he claims that, he came from a broken home. He had to eat Wonder Bread and mac and cheese just to pay the bills. He did none of those things, actually. His father literally worked for J. Paul Getty. Now, yes, it is true that his parents did get divorced, but I highly doubt that Gavin Newsom had to eat Wonder Bread and hot dogs and mac and cheese, Kraft dinner. If he ever has eaten Kraft dinner in his life, I'm going to assume he just went to Canada and wanted to be polite to his hosts because they love them some Kraft dinner up in the Great White North. But yes, Gavin Newsom, literally, not figuratively, literally a Burberry scarf wearing, slick back hair fuckboy jackass, rich boy. One second. Yes, there's literally pictures of Gavin Newsom in his Burberry scarf and his, slick back hair, reading the Wall Street Journal, looking very Alex P. Keaton chic. Oh, and by the way, there's literally pictures of him from 1991 in the San Francisco Chronicle, literally posing for a Children of the Rich, human interest piece. I think next to Paul Mohan and the Getty sons, Andrew and Billy. Gavin Newsom is extremely wealthy, actually. Point says, as a foal, I think ready-made hot dogs were the height of class because they felt more like food that boiled unsalted potatoes. Well, I mean, it depends on what you put on it. You can put that Grey Poupon mustard on your hot dog, and that classes it up because, as we all know from the 80s commercial, Grey Poupon is eaten by millionaires in limousines, and we'll get to Grey Poupon in a second. Speaking of poor black children. Yes, anyway, yeah, you can just read on about this. Gavin Newsom, was born to Tessa Thomas and William Alfred Newsom III. That's a name that just drips pomposity. Yes, he was a state appeals court judge, William Newsom, and an attorney for the Getty Corporation. Yeah, Newsom has deep ties to San Francisco. His great-grandfather, Thomas Addis, was a pioneering nephrologist and a professor of medicine at Stanford University, noted for his groundbreaking research on kidney failure. But yes, this is hardly a new thing. I mean, politicians do tend to lie about, their impoverished backgrounds to be down with the people. So does AOC. To Westchester, Sandy, you're not Jenny, no matter how hard you try. Put on, fake. Gavin Newsom in high school, and so on. But, say what you will about Naveen Johnson. He actually was born a poor black child, in a manner of speaking. He was a white child who was left on the doorstep of a black family that was poor. And, he grew up amongst them. But, yes, I would much rather vote for Steve Martin's character in The Jerk than Gavin Newsom. Oh, look, $3.5 million, you can buy Gavin Newsom's childhood home, which is, Frank Lloyd Wright, modernist house. As somebody who did go to school in San Francisco for my master's, and that was just before things really went to shit there. I don't care for Mr. Newsom. I don't care for how he took, Baghdad by the Bay and turned it into, Baghdad by the Bay. He turned it from Al Rashid's Baghdad to Uday Baghdad. Thing because this is not in the movie, but in the book, there is a scene where, Patrick and the Price and Price crew go to a club, and at the club there's a black man with dreadlocks, and Patrick Bateman really awkwardly tries to show that he's, down with the streets and makes a complete jackass of himself. Which I think is exactly what happened here. Yeah, I'd like to segue slightly and talk to any incels in the audience. Yeah, Patrick Bateman is not somebody you're supposed to emulate. He's literally, in context, shown to be a complete loser by the standards of his crew. Yeah, Gavin Newsom, what are you talking about? He was balling on the streets and eating mac and cheese and Popeye's chicken and such. Incidentally, there is a video of Gavin Newsom playing basketball with small children. He basically just bodies this 8-year-old kid out of the way, which is actually pretty funny if you want to look at that. But yeah, fuck Gavin Newsom. Fuck Gavin Newsom. Look at his hand gripping your. Look at his cold gaze and really. I did some archaeology work with some Canadians, and they. Something that you had to eat poverty. Bratty kid from The Simpsons who told his mom to she wouldn't buy him the video game he wanted. Wow, that must be the happiest kid in the world. Shut up, Mom. Yeah, so anyway, speaking of poor black children having to eat Kraft dinner and, ball packs. December 1st, you know what that means. The EBT and SNAP shutdown, snapping and shutting down. Yes, that's apparently going great. Now, I've already seen a few reports already of people basically rioting at gas stations because they couldn't use their EBT and SNAP cards. I would ask why you're going to the gas station to go grocery shopping. But, then again, maybe Homer Simpson was right. Olive oil, asparagus. if your mom didn't have such fancy taste, we could go to the gas station for groceries like normal people do. But yes, the federal courts are ordering the Trump administration to tap into the emergency funds for SNAP during shutdown, which means that there will, in fact, be no shutdown at all. It's a symbolic shutdown. Which has been using our SNAP getting cut. People are upset. A couple of like yelling at the gas mart. I would recommend you maybe not go to the grocery store for a week or two, because it might get messy. Paco Bela Lugosi says you're going in and out, Larsen. Yes, my. Hopefully this will work. Yes, the internets seem a bit slow. Let's hope that this will, right itself. Give me 1 second here. Ian Kempster says AOC is hot. I mean, just looking at her, I feel like she's not gonna, if you know what I mean. But let's appreciate it while it lasts. Anyway, yes, he is skids. And a lot of people are upset about this. Not just the people who, rely on it for foods. The economists, the intelligent people of society, they're the ones who are getting. Okay, so I just unmuted my back to be okay now, hopefully. But yes, the economists are very upset at this. They say Trump is an idiot for cutting food stamps. Every dollar spent on food stamps creates $1.50 in economic activity. Only the economically illiterate, not illiterate. We're not making alliterations here. Only the economically illiterate want to cut food stamps. Yes, that's a brilliant idea. We spend money on food stamps to give people, free food. Then they put the money that they didn't spend on food into other economic sectors. Brilliant. It's an infinite money glitch, don't you know? That's it. Poverty is solved. It's just like plugging the, it's like taking a power strip and plugging it into the outlets in the power strip. Well, that's just free electricity. What are you complaining about? Don't you know how electrical engineering works? Boy, Susan Van is an idiot. Ponythroat asks, does theft count as economic activity? Well, I'm sure some, Keynesian moron would say so. Because, don't you know, it's just, you got to subsidize demand, and then just the money starts going up. It's free money. Don't you know how it works? God. Because apparently if you spend $1, it just becomes $1.50. I may have alluded to this once or twice before, but God, I hate Keynesian economics, to an unbelievable extent. This is, I always make fun of, line go up, line go up. This is line go up. It's like, the money is moving around the economy, so therefore the economy is good. Herp a derp. There's a new trend I see amongst the inside of Twitter. It's like a new theory of government called basically fineism. Where basically, You judge a country not based on line going up, but rather how basically fine everything is. Like, is there clean water? Is there electricity? Is there low crime? Are the people healthy? Are they happy? In other words, it's that gross national happiness measure that Bhutan does. Maybe we should start doing something like that. Because, I don't know. Actually, I do know. It's that Arthur Laffer shit that he, snookered Reagan into doing. And that's why we've been ruled by line go up people for the better part of the past century. Fucking Arthur Laffer. Like, Larry Laffer would have been a better economist. But what do we think? Like, do we think that, the food stamps go? Put it in a crude way, it's the SN cycle that 4chan Green talked about. Everything about economic activity, every has ever strived for, it is to culminate in this masterpiece of human civilization. It is to the end goal of humanity, the meaning of life, really, is to basically import infinity amounts of illegal immigrants so they can, slaughter animals and fry their meat to shove it down the throats of, obese people so they can die after giving them truly heroic medical care. Ponythroat says, I understood that Larry Laffer reference. At least it wasn't Larry Lovage. Yeah, fuck Larry Lovage. I mean, I only consider the Laffer games to be canon to the Leisure Suit Larry franchise. Because, the Laffer curve was literally, it was a picture of a line up that some prick named was Laffer just Laffer, a douchebag who literally drew a line going up on a napkin and showed it to Diddy and Donald Rumsfeld in 1974. And that drawing on a napkin basically ruined America. Boy, just it's, to quote John Dolan, boy, it's amazing to think what one well-placed hand grenade could have done to this country. Just one well-placed hand grenade and a couple of Reagan. Yeah, anyway. So, moving on from that, and speaking of poor children, it's amazing how a lot of this ties into that phrase, and also American Psycho in a second. Yes, according to poor black children, from the Hollywood Handle, apparently Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Funky Kong, Diddy Kong Racing, Sean Combs, together in May 2008. I don't know, it's maybe a rumor, but apparently you can only do 3 years in prison for massive amounts of sexual assault. Yeah, he banana slammed everybody. And, apparently he's getting out. Ponythroat says, infinity growth is the ideology of cancer. Yes, I agree. I mean, I'm a to use the new Twitter parlance. I mean, I've never been a line go up person. But the question is, how do we free America from the line go up sociopaths? Yeah. But yeah, I don't know who said Diddy should get out of prison, but he should not be out of prison. He's a very bad person. Okay, let's see what we have going on here. Yeah, there's a lot of very bad things going on. I wrote down something about Albania. Speaking of poor black children. Nah, just kidding. Just kidding. This has nothing to do with poor black children, but it does have something to do with man-made horrors beyond. The Prime Minister of Albania, Eddie Rama, announced that. Okay, so I should point out that Albania has AI ministers. Is pregnant, this AI woman, and expected to give birth to 83 AI children. I have to question who impregnated this AI woman. Although I have a sneaking suspicion that Prime Minister Rama stuck his penis inside a floppy disk drive. And yes, I'm assuming that Albanian computers have floppy disks. Because I'm mildly prejudiced against former communist countries and their piss poor technology. But yes, the new AI agents will assist socialist members of parliament in Albania's legislature. I don't know what to say. So, like, is Diela's stomach just gonna open up and they're just gonna spew out like spiders or something? I mean, I should point out that Diela has addressed Parliament. The AI said that her feelings have been hurt by opposition lawmakers who said she's unconstitutional. Machines don't threaten the Albanian Constitution. Decisions by people in power do threaten the Constitution. It's meant to assist humans, not. I don't know what's going on in Albania. I mean, bear in mind this is also 100,000 bunkers that look like urinals, and they just plot them in the middle of like children's playgrounds and farms and stuff. So I don't want to sound mean or anything, but maybe Albanians are just into really stupid shit. So says Charatiste at Real Albanian Patriot, who has a Canadian flag in his bio, because of course he knows. He asks, he is somewhat concerned about his former country. Will Albania become the world's first fifth world country? I mean, I don't know what you call it when a country's ruled by like AI broodmares. This I don't want to sound mean to Diela, but this is a problem that can be solved with a garden hose, just saying. The camera. I mean, I don't think computers have, your average mainstream computer has had a floppy disk drive for the past 15 years. Ponithor then says, referring to the Albanian thing, doesn't this mean that Albanian politicians are just talking to Google with extra steps? In a manner of speaking, yes. He says it's also the country that got its entire submarine fleet by essentially carjacking it. This VTuber minister does kind of sound like the Prime Minister's deviant fetish he's forcing everybody to look at. Yeah, can we not have clankers in government? That would be great. But yeah, speaking of man-made horror beyond human comprehension, there is something new. Neo robot ordered today. It is a vaguely humanoid robot that literally looks like the NPC meme that you can buy to do household chores. And by robots, I mean it's basically a humanoid remote control car controlled by some third worlder for $3 an hour. I mean, there's some questions. First of all, the website for the Neo robot says Neo is designed for household use. Safety is guided every step of their design to ensure it can operate amongst humans. It should be used only as intended. Users should remain attentive during operation, must always follow product safety instructions and guidelines when operating Neo, especially in the presence of children, vulnerable people, or pets. So basically, watch out or else your robot's going to kill you. Well, it is good to know that the Neo robot is sold in skin tones. Oh, dear God. There's beige. Yes, you can buy like pitch black robot slaves. Well, gentlemen, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. Oh, yeah, this is awkward. Yeah, as far as I'm control robot key controlled by like Guatemalans for $2 an hour. Also, the person who runs the 1X company that makes the Neo robots, this guy looks like a devious swindler. He does not have a trustworthy face, this man. Taco Bell Lugosi says the takeover just stepped up. The robots 1, human 0. I mean, these aren't really fully autonomous robots yet. They're like I said, they're controlled by like third worlders getting, slave wages to do these and kind of pilot these. Anyway, I do have a few questions about it. Like, first of all, how long is it going to be before somebody has sex with one of these robots? Yeah, I feel bad for Rajesh in Calcutta who has to control like robot sex. Ponythroat says it's probably more expensive than just hiring an illegal for $2 an hour. Yes, probably. You can also beat them when your sports team loses. Well, I mean, the robots won't really complain if you beat them. Taco Bell Lugosi says, not yet. Give it time. We are doomed. Yes. I mean, I keep awaiting for for academic purposes, not because I want to buy one, but yes, I keep sort of grimly awaiting the sex robot revolution, and at that point I can just kind of stick a fork in society because we'll be done. Taco Bell Lugosi says robot sex is next. That's where it begins. Yes. But yeah, I guarantee, once these ones sell well, we're gonna see the sex bot model, which has like cartoonishly exaggerated like woman's figure, what have you. Yeah, it's not gonna be great. Let's see, what else do we have? See, I have some. Let's see, not really that. Let's see what I have. Should I? Sorry. Should I do more man-made horrors beyond our comprehension? Yes, I shall. Okay, so I guess we're going to kind of slowly meander into the silly side of things. From Harper's Magazine, which at one point used to be a respectable magazine. The Goon Squad. Loneliness. Porn's next frontier and the dream of endless masturbation. Yeah, so this article, I learned some things that I never even could have comprehended before. Okay, so the article discusses the gooners, the goonicide, the gooneral. Basically, masturbation is not just a pleasant diversion that takes a few minutes anymore. Now it's a lifestyle. Okay. Harper's Magazine goes on to explain that gooning is more than just mere masturbation. This language of, the gooneral, the goonicide, was broadly legible to hundreds of thousands of people who engage with it online. They're referring to a young fellow named Nautica Malone who basically exposed himself to a barista, and then that went viral for some reason. He shot on video and then he shot himself. He was married and had children, just FYI. Yeah. So yeah, gooning. It's near masturbation. It's more goal-oriented and more communal. The gooner goons to reach the goon state, a supposed zone of nirvana-esque total ego death that some liken to advanced meditation. So there are logical men who are just furiously jacking off, approaching but never quite climaxing, and they hope to achieve some sort of zen-like discipline from this. I mean, I've heard of walking meditation, but I guess there's waking meditation now as well. This dream of attainment compels them to masturbate for hours or even days at a time. Okay. Nautica Malone was not a goonclaver at all, but in their eyes, he was martyred for a form of self-expression. He was a cause célèbre for this movement. Okay. Taco Bell Lugosi says ChatGPT just killed 2 people, so... Well, I don't know if it kills them or if it just kind of talked them into killing themselves. Bizarre, meditative it says, at the funeral, the priest is going to be like, this would not have happened if his wife had put out more. I mean, I don't know what kind of churches you're going to, sir, but I highly doubt that any modern church is going to criticize any woman at all. Not that I think it is the wife's fault. I mean, this man had problems. Pundit says they all live in Edgeville. That's right. I familiar to me. Doesn't oh, Edgeville's from RuneScape. It's right on the border of the PvP. I presume they do live in Edgeville, sir. Okay, anyway, this article horrifyingly goes on. The Gooners first came to public attention by way of the Goon Caves, rooms remodeled specifically for the service of pornography consumption. Okay, they have surround sound, surrounding TVs and screens with lots of porno. Okay, and so on. Harper's Magazine says that pornography has changed things. The suddenly was misted with pornography. Back in the day, if you wanted to watch porn, you had to actively seek it out and find it. That has since changed. Harper's does have a point. You open up Instagram and you're just bombarded with titties, constantly. Okay. Then it goes on to describe how gooners use Discord to find their little gooniverse. Okay. Okay, I spoke on the phone with a man who refers to himself as Goon Cultist. He offered a deep prehistory of gooning. One strain of this practice has its origins among certain 4chan users who would play a image and text-based game called Fap Roulette. It's like you get a random draw, you gotta whack off to whatever you get, and then so on and so forth. On and on. I don't know. Then there's this whole overlap with the incel culture, where essentially you're masturbating so you can kind of get that total ego death and kind of ignore the fact that nobody would ever willingly have sex with you, and so on and so forth. I think I say this pretty much every day, but boy, Ted Kaczynski really had a point. So what else is going on? Okay. Let's see. Oh, speaking of the intersection of ancient and modern man-made horror, YouTuber Tyler Oliveira went to India and took a video of a certain festival in which people throw cow feces at each other. This went a bit viral, and the entire nation of India was not happy about this. The Hindustan Times asks, is Tyler Oliveira's OnlyFans? American YouTuber claims his family is being targeted after video of cow dung festival. So basically, a coordinated trolling effort of millions of the good people of India screaming that. And I like how that's the go-to showing you your best. Okay, is get to the side of just about. We're gonna kind of slowly meander that way. Okay. Actually, I have one more thing related to the gooning. Kind of. Wait, actually, I don't because it got deleted. My apologies. So, yeah, I guess we'll just get to the silly side of things. Okay, vaguely related to the goonclave. People are still trying to save young men. They see that young men are, furiously masturbating themselves into the goon state. Or going to, incel rage. We have to save young men. And who's going to save young men? Apparently Stavros fucking Halkias. Yeah, the fat guy from Cumtown is going to do this apparently. From some website, which I can't be to look up what it is. The Stavvy method for saving young men. And there's a picture of the Greek gentleman in question with cat ears. Talk shit about the man. I've seen some of his stand-up comedy. He's pretty funny. But this is not the way to save young men. Like, at all. Like, they want to be like some obese greaseball who, by his own admission, has a tiny penis. Yeah, that'll do it. That's going to do it. A guy who looks like a fatter version of Ron Jeremy, except Ron Jeremy at least had a giant wiener. So this is what they mean when they say saving you. They mean turning you into a fat, neutered slob, a consumer who respects women in a, simpy sort of way. Yeah, this is... Yeah, this is not a book, guys. I just don't understand this. Young men don't want to be, fat consumers. They want to be cool. They want to be sexy. They want to be strong. This ain't the way to do it. You know what's going to save young men from being losers? Being even bigger losers, literally and spiritually. Okay, moving on from that. And also, actually, I was going to go to something, but I'm going to do something else for a second. Yeah, speaking of, men who are spiritually and physically filthy and disgusting, Asmongold. Kind of ties together. Streamer Asmongold was once convinced to shower more often. That was the worst decision I ever made, to shower more often. It stopped my evolution. After not showering, I developed an exoskeleton, a protective wall between my skin and the outside world. That is just outstanding. Like, I think the longest I ever went without showering was probably like 2 weeks. I was literally in, buttfuck Kenya, and I didn't have access to a shower. But like, even that, literally, doing backbreaking labor in the sun for hours a day, even that didn't get me so dirty to the point where I was literally developing like an exoskeleton, like a shield of filth and grime and like bodily salt on my skin. So like, how often was this man not showering, or how little was this man showering? To the point where he was literally developing like scales or like natural armor on his flesh. I don't think I've ever watched a single second of Asmongold's crap, but I have no desire to at this point. Yeah, somebody posted a picture of the metamorphosis. One day, Asmongold woke up from troubled dreams. He found himself transformed in his bed into a horrible vermin. And I think he was born that way, sir. Pony throat referring to the Tyler Oliveira thing. Somebody recorded us having a feces fight. That's more morally objectionable than having a feces fight. Well, I mean, medical journals from India talk about how cow urine and feces have no drawbacks whatsoever to being consumed. Older cretin. It's like, I have a filthy ass. Your opinion is invalid. Ponythroat says Hassan, left-wing streamer, who's morally disgusting. Yes, he is. Asmongold's a right-wing streamer who's really disgusting. Yeah, there's quite a few of those, right? Whether it be Asmongold not showering, or Beardson Beardley's friend like shitting himself in his chair and like just stewing in it. Ponythroat says you can see cockroaches crawling over Asmongold in videos. That is absolutely absurd. Okay. What else do we have going on? Hey, speaking of American Psycho, Luca Guadagnino is rumored to be doing a gender-swapped American Psycho remake, starring Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie's a good actress, but I don't know how a femme American Psycho is really going to work. Isn't part of the joke that Patrick Bateman has a very sort of feminine, concern for his personal appearance? Somebody says it best. This whole movie is going to be a normal girl during her period. Yeah, a little bit. And personally, I feel that every time you watch a female influencer on TikTok, that you're basically seeing the female American Psycho right there. So, yeah, I will not be watching that. Hey, so that about does it for my prepared remarks. You can say your last pieces now, should you desire. Alrighty.